Hello and welcome back, YouTubers. This is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
This is a crossover fighting game developed by Capcom, and it's an updated version of Marvel vs. Capcom: Fate of Two Worlds. After the 2011 earthquake really screwed up the development schedule for the downloadable content of the original game, this game was released subsequently after that in November 2011 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 as a featured launch title, and it will also be available later on for the PlayStation Vita. Marvel vs. Capcom has been renowned as one of the best fighting game series that there actually possibly could be played. It's up there along with Mugen and of course Soul Calibur, even though it is standard the side-to-side 2D fighting game. This game incorporates some really sweet characters like Dante from Devil May Cry, and of course Zero from Mega Man, the game series, but also some unique Marvel characters and some of the classics that everyone knows to be tried and true, like Iron Man, Captain America, Ghost Rider, and many of the other comics. The playable characters that are also available in the update is the Firebrand, Frank West, Nemesis, T-Type, Phoenix Wright, Strider, Hero, Virgil, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, Hawkeye, Iron Fist, Nova, and Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon being one of the most obscure Marvel characters that are available to be played. The updated version of this game, if you were looking to purchase this game altogether, the updated version is one of the coolest versions that you can get, as it does add the new characters into the mix. I'm not saying that they're 100% necessary to play this game. However, this game being an updated version of the original, if you could get this game subsequently a little bit more expensive, like $5 or $10 more expensive than the original, it would be well worth picking this one up, because basically it's an updated version, as I've stated many times. The updates that are included are mainly the characters. Pretty much all you're going to be getting is some new people to play with, and of course, maybe later on there'll be some downloadable content. Many people have debated whether or not these characters were or were not available on the disc on the original game, and that you're just paying extra for a couple of new characters in the same game practically. That's between you and your wallet. If you're truly a fighting game enthusiast, I think you'll probably enjoy this game very greatly, and you'll understand that basically, if you really want the new characters, then consult your wallet and see if you can afford to get a whole new release of the game or not. I picked up this game from the rental service I use, and I paid nothing for it, so I got to play it for pretty much what I pay for the rental service, which is a fraction of the cost of a new game. So, if you're really into that, you can also do that. It's really upon you whether or not you really think you should get a whole new release of this game. Now, each character has their own movesets, and there's no real clones out there, unlike many of the games of the past. And if you're really into Marvel vs. Capcom, like the original, or Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that was available on the arcade platform for Xbox 360 as well as PSN, you will delight in this. This game comes with some of the really coolest characters I've ever seen before, like Arthur from Ghouls and Ghosts, and Deadpool, as well as some of my favorites like Morgan and a newcomer, Beautiful Joe. One of Nintendo's more classic characters from the GameCube series, that's a crossover to the PlayStation in Beautiful Joe. Characters that just you really wouldn't think about, and that's where this game excels in. This game may not be the most fluid in combat, even though saying that is a straight up lie. It's absolutely astounding how great the combat system is in this game. Even though it doesn't rank top 10 out of 10 in every category, this game is exceptionally fun to play these very unusual characters together and throw them in the mix and see how they do. You can see here Dante is fighting Beautiful Joe, and much like Smash Brothers Allure, this cross-platformer really excels in the fact that it pits together people that are highly unlikely to be pitted together. overall, I found my time with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 here very satisfying, and even though there are many complaints from people saying, well, hey, you know, what happened to my characters? I'm not going to pay this amount of money. Well, I found it very satisfying, and the new characters that I got to play with were really, really fun, even though a couple of them I didn't really care that much about. The Good Doctor is one of them that I really didn't care for, and, well, you're going to have that whenever you're playing a game. For fighting game enthusiasts, this is the game for you, and if you're really not into fighting games, then you might want to skip over this one. However, if you're really into Capcom or Marvel, this game might really appeal to you. I can't really answer that question for you. You gotta kind of figure out what kind of fan base you're looking at here. Are you really into playing with Captain America against Zero from the Mega Man series, or do you just want to hear Deadpool's witty remarks? Whichever one it is, do be sure to think of it when you're about to go buy the game, because that's kind of an important question you're going to have to ask yourself. Under graphics, I give this game an A+, because the 2.5D and the background effects that are integrated into these battles is just excellent, and really, really makes me love it a lot more. Under controls, I give it an A also, because there's no latency whatsoever. Under sound, the sound effects are pretty well done. I give it an A-, because I do hear a little cheapness, and some of the characters' voices are a little off for me personally when I hear them in the cartoons and whatnot, but whatever. And under gameplay, the addition of the X Factor mechanic, which grants increased damage output, speed, health regeneration for a limited time, also reappears in Ultimate Capcom vs. Marvel 3, which makes it really, really wonderful. However, it is very shorter in duration compared to its predecessor. That makes it a bit more fair. This X Factor really helps out in these epic battles, and as you can see here, it's time for us to battle Galactus, the final boss. This boss is exceedingly difficult and very, very hard to beat. But if you know what you're doing, if you know the combos, if you know the attacks, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Overall, I give this game an A-, a great pickup for fighting enthusiasts. However, do remember, if you're not into fighting games, this may not be your thing. That's just between you and what you like. Personally, I think this game is an A. It's a knockout of the park, and for fighting games, it's a great, great pickup. However, I'm not a fighting game enthusiast, so I didn't overly enjoy this game, other than the fact that when I was playing with these cool characters. The final boss is extremely tedious. He is very, very difficult to beat, and as I've said before, if you know what you're doing, if you know the combos, you shouldn't have a problem. However, I did not, and it took me an extensively long time to learn the combos before I could beat the final boss, which just makes it a bit more annoying. But hey, with challenges comes fun. So guys, this is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, an A release, a must pick up for anyone who really loves fighting games, and that's my take on it. Please leave a comment if you differ.